Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Draw Along. Today we're drawing a unicorn, but not just any unicorn. This one's got a serious attitude. Yep, it's an emo unicorn. Think black hoodies, striped leg warmers, piercings, and a dramatic swooping fringe. So grab your pen or pencil, something to colour with, and let's get drawing. So we're going to start, as usual, with the head. And we're going to draw the nose of the unicorn to start with. So I want you to start with a heart shape, about middle left of the page. Watch me as I go. So dipping down into the middle and then bouncing back upwards like a kind of M or the top of a heart. And then we're going to draw it sort of just shrinking down towards the middle, either side. So just curving downwards, flattening off to the bottom. Keep it relatively thin and then back up to the top. And that's our unicorn's nose. We'll just pause to draw in the nostrils, one on the left hand side and then another on the right, little oval shapes. Okay, now I'm going to draw up to the nose, but we're not going to go full height because we're going to have this massive swooping fringe that I already mentioned. So a short curve about 1 centimetre long, like that. And now we're actually going to draw the fringe in because it's so big it's going to cover most of the head. So I want you to start from the corner there and just do a little curve outwards like that, and that's where the fringe is going to come out from the face. And then just pointing backwards like that, and we're going to do some curving zigzags upwards to give it that long kind of over the face fringe. So watch as I go back, out again, a little bit bigger, round again. We'll do one more, out, and then curve upwards a little bit. And then we're going to just stop there because our unicorn's horn needs to go into the center of the head. So we want to sort of start it middle of the head, just sort of halfway from that curved line we just did, maybe about there. And we want to go, I'm going to do a little wobble because I like to give it that texture, quite tall, and a line up like that. And then we're going to follow it back down into the middle of the head and just round it off for our unicorn's horn. So watch as I go back down, just slight wobble on the pen, just to give it a little texture feel, and then a curve at the bottom, and that's where the horn's coming in the middle of the head. Can you see how that fringe is going to come now? So what we're going to do is finish the fringe off up to the midpoint of the head. What I'm going to do is follow that curve backwards a little bit, then we're going to pop outwards again, and then curve upwards again, and then one more time out, and then curve upwards again. And there we have our kind of emo fringe. Now we're going to work over the top of the hair, so do a curve like that. We're just going to have a little parting on the hair, so doing an M shape, similar shape to the nose, and like that. And then we're going to have quite a nice big ear finishing up here. So we're going to start that ear just about here, so just about 0.5 centimetre from the top of the fringe, curving outwards, and then back in for a little point at the top. As we come down, we're going to add in a couple of piercings. Okay, so we're going to have 2 piercings along the ear. So start coming back down, and then we're going to draw a little C shape. Okay, so start inwards from the ear where you've left the gap, little C shape, join back up with where we finished off there, and then just loop it back around. There we go, we've got our first piercing, and we can just join that line up there. Drop down another 0.5 centimetre maybe, and do the same again. Let's make it slightly bigger. And there's our second one, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. And then just finish off the ear there. Okay, we're going to keep maybe just a little bit further actually. There we go. And that's our ear. I've given it quite a big ear. I think the other one's going to be behind where the horn is actually, so we can probably ignore that. And we're going to do the rest of the hair. Okay, so we're going to pick up from the base of the ear, and we're going to do a sort of swiggly line. So it's got kind of curled hair, look, like that. And then back up, down to a curve there, and then come back around. And then we're going to do the opposite shape, curving away from us, just to give it a bit of variation. Meet the curve, do another one. It's up to you how you do this. You do as many little kind of bits as you want. And then again, start arcing back upwards to the head, and come out one more time, and then join back up somewhere around the ear. So there's our kind of hair lined up going down the back of the neck. Now we're going to finish off the jawline. Start sort of 2/3 of the way down the nose, and just curve outwards a bit, and then finish it off near to the head. And there we've got our unicorn's head. Now we're going to work on the eye, so we're just going to cut. Oh, actually, hang on a sec. We need to just finish off that hair, don't we? Let's do a little bit there. Perfect. Now the eye's going to be quite big. I'm going to give it kind of dark eyeliner, okay? So start sort of a little higher up the head, just below the ear. And we want a thick line, curving up, and then back out like that. You can sort of double it over if you want. And then underneath we're going to curve the other way for the eye shape. I'm going to leave just a little bit at the front like it's got makeup on. And just below, and then up to the top. And there's our eye. We want a nice big oval shape, but first for the centre of the eye. So drawing an oval there. Keep a little circle like that, and then just shade the eye in black. Okay, there we go. And there's our unicorn head. Now, it's an emo unicorn, okay, so we're going to give it a hoodie, but we're going to work down from the neck first, okay, so we're going to draw a sort of curving line from the bottom part of the nose, and we're going to stop after about 2 centimeters. So let's just practice a couple of times, maybe 3 centimeters. So a curved line there, that's the front, and then we're going to draw the first kind of leg coming out from the chest, okay? I want you to draw a kind of rounded rectangle like that, and that's going to be the sort of sleeve of the hoodie. Okay, and then from the top left corner, do a little arced line, bounce it back out. This is the hoof, slight curve down, back inwards. You've got a slight kind of diagonal there, so it's just coming outwards slightly, and then finish off that as a kind of box shape, and then curve back to the base of that line we did there, and that's the hoof, the leg and the hoof coming out from the front there. We're going to add the next one in. So we're going to do that shape again, sort of like a curved rectangle if you like. Just a little C shape, back around, and then up. And then we do the second leg, which is going to be slightly closer in because it's like closer to the way the camera would be. So again, similar length, slight curve on the tip of the leg, bounce it out, downwards for the hoof, back up. Just mimicking that shape again, and then drawing back, connecting those lines. And I'm just going to finish that off there. So there are our 2 legs. We're going to draw the arm in. It's going to be wearing a hoodie, so we've got kind of a baggy sleeve. So we need to bounce out like that, and back in, and then up. And we're going to do the same lower like that, and then out. So we've got that kind of baggy feel. We could add like a couple of lines there just to give it that sense of clothing, and then we're going to curve upwards for the opening of the hoodie here. So I'm picking a midpoint line sort of there. I'm going to go up and round like that, and then for the hoodie we need that second bit to be going around where the hood starts, so just curve back around there, and that's where the hood would go around the back, but I think we won't see it because of the hair. I'm going to give a bit of a kind of necklace detail. We're going to do kind of cool emo symbol, so we're going to draw a big circle in the middle, okay, just like that. Do a little oval at the top, and then we're going to do 2 X's, so we're creating a kind of smiley face, oh no, hang on, sad face symbol. There we go. It's wearing around its neck, and we're going to do a little choker as well, so a kind of necklace, a big fat thick choker necklace. So start just a third of the way up the nose, curve round there, about half to a whole centimetre up, and do the same. And we're going to do some little diamond shapes along this for the studs. You can use any shape you want, but there we go. So we've got our kind of thing, and then just drawing the necklace as a kind of V shape underneath. Is it looking nice and emo? Yep, I think it is. Okay. Right, we're going to do the back end. So the hoodie's going to be fairly short, so we're going to do a couple wobbly lines like that, and then we're going to, I think I actually need to do the second leg now. So that's going to be sat facing this way, so we're going to do another, just finish that line about to where the bottom of the hair is. And we're going to mimic the same shape, so just drawing a kind of just trapezium shape, finished off for the hoof, and then a wavy leg. We want it a bit longer this side because it's the back leg. So upwards, down and round like that, and then mimic that shape underneath. And then I want you to just kick it round a little bit like that. And then we're going to go out and round for the rear end. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that after we've got this back of the hoodie detail in. Okay, so we've got to have these kind of stretchy elastic fabric section. So starting about centimetre from the bottom of the leg, curve outwards there, just join that line up there, and then again about half a centimetre, follow that round, maybe slightly widen it, and there we go. That's our back of the hoodie. We're going to draw two little lines just for the fabric, one there and one there, and then we're ready to do the kind of rear end of the unicorn. So let's go a curve outwards like that. Can you sort of see that curve I'm mimicking there? And follow it round, nice big C sort of shape, and meeting the back. And we're going to do the tail just coming out of this section here. So similar shape to the hair. Just start it roughly on that joining point. So we're going to go up, curve, round the top, down, bring it back in, and then kick it out at the end like that. And then we're going to match that shape and just follow it back around there. So starting about just under a centimetre. Wants to be nice and wide at the top, so curve a little bit shorter. Follow it round. I might just do a little detail there, and that's our tail. And we're just about done. So we're going to add in a few little more details. We need to get some more emo features on here. So we're going to start with just the sleeves of the hoodie. Just draw some lines across there to give it that kind of classic texture. And then do the same here on the band, on the waistband. Drawing lines across. Okay. And we're going to give it some stripe features that's commonly found in sort of emo clothes. So I think first we've got to do the unicorn's horns. So let's just add some just curving upwards lines. Do as many or as few as you like. And every other one is going to be shaded black. Okay, so let's do one more there. Okay. And then we're going to come back around. I've just realised I haven't filled the ear in, so we'll do that now. So again, we're just going to match that shape inside, about half a centimetre. Try and use a slightly thinner pen line. There we go, and we've got the inside of the ear. And we want to add this sort of stripe. I'm going to give it striped leggings on the back. Okay, so what we'll do is draw a curve like that over the top. Try and use a thinner line. And we go back down, the same as we did on the horn. We're just going to add some stripes in. 1, do a slight curve on them. 2, 3. Then we're going to do another one like that. And then another one, just follow the top line. Let's just think like, there we go. And we've got those kind of iconic sort of stripes. Just having a look, any more details we need to do? Right, we need to just add in some detailing on the hair. So we're just going to just follow the shape around as we've done it. And this is going to be the coloured portion of the hair. So we'll start up just a little bit inwards and just follow that shape. You can do it in sort of any which way you want. And this is going to be the portion of the hair that we'll colour. Like that. And I might just add in another bit there. And then round the base we'll do that again. So just follow inside, just do sort of jaggedy lines. It doesn't really matter how big or small you do this, it's totally up to you. I'm going to do that, and these will be the kind of coloured sections of hair, the rest will be black. Looking around, am I happy? And I'll do the same on the tail as well, so I'm just going to start up there, follow it in, and stopping, a few zigzaggy, jaggedy lines, back around, meeting back there, and that'll be again colour portion of the tail. Might do another one there. And there we have it. So there's the line work done. Fantastic. So I'm going to go into super speed mode as I colour. I'm going for the classic emo colours of black and red. So you can choose any you want. So let's go. And there you have it, your very own Emo Unicorn. If you had fun drawing today, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and if you gave your unicorn a name or added your own twist, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. See you next time.